That boat. Mark, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us this morning. You have been selected as our first responder of the month, which is presented by Rosebud Mining Company, and a lot of people are nominated for this award, and each month we select one. We just draw one out, and yours was the one that came, but it's a very special story, and so it's a wonderful opportunity for us to meet somebody who really gives of himself. And the reason to me your story is so special is that, how many years with Commodore?
35 years.
35 years.
35 years.
And how many years as chief?
10 years as chief.
A current run of 10 years as chief?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we're currently the chief out there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But a couple of years ago, you decided to take another step as a first responder.
Right. First of all, I just thank you for giving the award. And like you said, the list is so big, and I looked at it before I come in. And
yeah.
It's a shame everybody don't get to sit in this chair, because it is quite an honor to be here. And everybody on that list does the same thing that I do as volunteer, and it's quite an honor to be here.
You know a lot of those folks too.
Pretty much. Once you get in the fire service, as long as I have, you get to know a lot of people in the fire service. And when they say it's a family, it's a family. Brothers and sisters. I mean, I only had a sister growing up, so when I got in the fire service, it expanded my family quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it don't remain just Indiana County. It goes out of the county, out of state. Once you're a fireman, you're in. It's quite the family.
But it's a very, very large family.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
But speaking of family, your daughter's actually got you involved in a new adventure for you.
Yes. My oldest daughter, Brianna, coming out of school, she went to nursing school. She bounced around, wanted to be a state cop, kind of changed her mind on that. Well, she got into the EMS service and went was an EMT and was running with Citizens Ambulance here in Indiana. And she talked about, and at the time, her boyfriend, Evan Keener, which is out in Dayton, started a QRS service. It's a medical service, kind of a first responder. You get dispatched with the ambulance.
QRS.
Yeah, quick response service.
Okay.
So you have to have EMTs, obviously, to run this, and you have to have a specialized truck with the medical supplies. So we carry everything pretty much in our truck except the stretcher. We don't transport, but we pretty much carry everything else. And they had one in Dayton. Dayton and Homer City and Cherry Hill has one. And Brianna brought it back to us and say, hey, I think we could benefit out in our area, with this EMS service. And I'm like, okay, we only have 2 EMTs out that way. So her and Evan got together and got their truck certified and got it going. And while as it went, the guys at the fire station, they were going out on these QRS calls, because now we were being dispatched right with an ambulance, and they're kind of sitting around. And as a fireman, you always want to help. You want to help. Well, they couldn't go. They're not EMTs. We're firemen. The EMT service, you kind of had to just sit at the station. Well, my other daughter is like, Dad, do you think you want to go take this EMT course, And I'm like, oh, Brooke, I should have did that 25 years ago. And you always hear the test is so hard and, you don't want to do it. Well, 5 of us signed up, and she drugged me to the class, and we did it right here at IUP. It was like a hybrid class, so you did the chapters during the week. You took the tests at the end of the week, and then there was 3 weekends, Saturday and Sunday, you would come in here at IUP, and they'd run you through the training scenarios, and it's hard to believe. I had to go down to Altoona. You take a test on a computer, which is it's a difficult test, no doubt about it. Because Brooke went down with me, and I tested first out of the 5 of us. I said, look, I'm going as soon as we're out of class here, because it's still fresh in my memory. I want to be the first one to test out here. And that day. So I took, not right away, but I took the test, and I come out, and she goes, well, how was it? And I said, Brooke, I don't know what just happened in there. It was so tough. I said, because every question's like a patient. They give you a patient, and they give you your blood pressures, and they say, well, how would you treat this? Well, out of the 4 answers, probably all 4 are correct. You got to pick the best one, So it was funny. It was Cookport Fair week, so we hold a bingo up at the Cookport Fair, and and you're looking at your phone. You keep looking at your email to see, did you pass? Well, about 9:30 that night, I got the confirmation that I passed, so we had to give a big Yahoo.
Yeah.
And everybody thought I hollered bingo, at the bingo stand. And they're like, "What's going on?" I passed my EMT class. So that was a pretty big achievement for me.
Yeah. Well, Cookport Fair Week is the perfect week for that.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a big deal out our way,
Yeah.
That's something.
Well, congratulations on that. So you've been an EMT for a couple of years.
It's going to be 2 years now. It's going to be 2 years.
Wow.
And now we're up to 8 EMTs.
8?
8. We've had other guys follow us now.
That's true.
Because everybody wants to be involved and help the community. And the EMS service is a little different because it's, you go to fires, it's, you deal with car wrecks.
Yeah.
You treat them, but you're not really involved with patients. Mm-hmm. This way, it's more of a one-on-one. You're there on their worst day. I mean,
Sure.
They call the ambulance, so you're going for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's the people so you're taking care of your community. So it's a next level up. It's really I really took to it, and I wish I'd have did it sooner.
Let's talk about Commodore Fire Department and why it's such a special organization. And it really is, especially when you find out that, where you live is not exactly an urban center.
That's correct.
You're on your own little island out there, aren't you?
When you go to fire school, I mean, they teach you to hit a hydrant. Well, when I joined, what's a hydrant? What's a fire hydrant? We don't know what those are. We're always getting our water out of streams, creeks. We've even taken out of swimming pools.
You're looking for farm ponds.
Yeah, half of our crew would, in a city or an urban place, everybody goes to fight the fire. Our way, half of our crew would have to go locate water. Mm-hmm. You can't fight fire without water. So, we'd split our crew in half right off the bat. We were down hands because they're looking for water. We have to call extra manpower in, tanker trucks, to keep that moving. So that was just a whole different aspect out our way that people that have that pressurized system don't have to worry about,
Things that we don't think about.
Right.
Because we're not inside the biz.
And as the years have gone, we do have some hydrants out our way now, so we did have to learn that, like the Lovejoy area, Cookport, up towards Cookport, Commodore has hydrants now. So, the manpower's dropping, which now these pressurized systems help us out a little bit, that we don't have to send that crew looking for water. We can hit a hydrant now, too.
Manpower is certainly a problem.
It is.
These days.
Most certainly.
And it's in everything. But when it becomes a problem for a fire department, then the whole community is affected.
It's scary. Right now, I'll tell you, the volunteer service scares me. Mm-hmm. What it's going to be in 5 to 10 years, it's hard to get the young people involved. Mm-hmm. And the training is, we have to train just as a professional firefighter. Our fires burn any cooler out this way as they do in the cities.
Sure.
So all the training is equal to theirs. And to get that qualifications and training and requirements, it takes a lot of time to get to that level and maintain that level.
Yeah.
So we've been reaching out to the schools now. We've coupled with Citizens Ambulance. This past year, we went and put an assembly on just to show the kids it's just not a volunteer, clean up our mess kind of thing. There's professional careers. The fire service, they're looking. When I joined, I told these guys coming in that when I joined, it was like you'd like to be a professional firefighter, but the opportunities weren't there. You had to go to Lewistown and train. Yeah. And that's kind of one good thing about here. Now we can take the classes in Indiana. We can actually go here or Cambria County. We go over there a lot and train and get that qualifications right here in our backyard now.
Mark Riva is our guest here on Indiana in the Morning. He is our Rosebud Mining Company First Responder of the Month. And when we think back, and we're talking about recruiting firefighters in today's day and age, you've been there for 35 years, so it was much different when you became a firefighter.
Right.
What made you want to do that?
Like I said in my write-up, I grew up in Cookport, so I've been out in the Commodore area my whole life, and we had a couple major house fires that I just sat on the porch and watched. It was kind of scary. These fires were going through the roof, at the time the call was in the middle of the night. And just to sit there and watch, it's mass chaos, but if you just sit back and watch, these guys knew what they were doing. They went for the water, they laid the lines, they saved the neighbor's house, and to be part of that team coming up through high school purchase line, played varsity football, and to put those pads on for the Friday night lights, there was nothing better than that. Mm-hmm. And as you get into the fire service, you get to put that fire gear, that teamwork, the camaraderie of all of that. I just thought, man, that's something maybe I want to try, And like I said, my best friend, George Lutman, he was already in the fire service, and he's like, well, come down, put your application in, come on down. So we did, and it just took off from there, when you suit up and you get to do that and work as a team going in. You don't have to tell everybody, and that's one good thing out of our way. I like to pride myself in our guys being trained that, I don't have to tell them, pull a line here, go do this, go do that. These guys come off the truck. They're well trained. I trust everything they do. They know what to do. And, I take a lot of pride in that. And that's kind of where it all come from. And that's what got us here today.
Well, there's certainly a team involved when you're a firefighter, and a part of that team is always the wife of the firefighter or the husband of the firefighter, and
no doubt.
Standing off to your right is your best teammate.
No doubt about
your wife. It takes a very special person.
No doubt about it. And as most people know, that we don't plan the alarms. We don't say, okay, 2:00 it's going to happen. It happens at the kind of craziest times when you sit down to dinner. It's Christmas Eve. Your pager goes off and you got to go. And she's been with me over 30 years, and it takes a special woman. I'm going to tell you that, because many hours that it's taken from us. Sure. It's taken from what we do. We go to dinners, we leave dinners, and she's still here. So, this is as much her as me, because she's put up with me and helped raise our two daughters to be outstanding people and persons, So, yeah, a lot of credit goes to her.
Well, I'm going to hand this plaque to Paul Tatarko of our staff. There is a notable mistake in the plaque, and I won't call attention to it, but anybody watching on Facebook will notice, and we'll get that. We'll get that fixed. We'll get that fixed. Yeah.
This is Mark Riva, not Mike or Riva.
And I told you guys I've been called worse. So
on behalf of Rosebud Mining Company, Render Broadcasting, and the entire team behind the scenes, thank you for your service. I guess there's no other way, better way to put it. We appreciate your 35 years plus.
And I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much.
All right.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Our first responder of the month, presented by Rosebud Mining Company. He is the fire chief at Commodore. He's now also an EMT and a very special guy. And we're so appreciative of the fact that you're able to make the time to come in and visit with us today.
I appreciate you guys having me. And just a big shout out, the brothers and sisters. I just hope everybody keeps Dan Shakru in their prayers. He's in a life battle right now, and I consider him a brother. And Dan's having a rough time, so please keep Dan in your prayers. Everybody out there, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. All righty. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS. 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. 25 minutes after 8 o'clock. Jake in the newsroom coming up. Let's get to CBS Sports.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sportsman.